Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, brothers and sisters. So this is a quick introduction to a training course that I am running this weekend, in fact, this weekend and next weekend for Ulama, students of knowledge, particularly with the focus on those of you who work with young people. So Maktab teachers, Madrasah teachers, that kind of thing, people who are teaching children in the evening and on weekends. You'll understand the importance of this course if I explain to you how it came about. Shortly after Ramadan, an Imam from one of the northern towns contacted me after seeing our Gift of Iman campaign on Launch Good, which of course is a campaign that was to do with saving people who were kind of leaving Islam and so on, and helping them and that kind of thing. So he told me about the crisis in his town because 6 young teenagers between the ages of 12 and 16, mostly girls, had left Islam. And he wanted advice on how to tackle it and how to deal with it. And one of the ideas we came up with is that people all over the country who are teaching young people need to understand the issues that are causing doubts in the minds of young people. So Ulama Imams who are active, we're playing a vastly important role in teaching them the basics of the deen, teaching them to read Quran, perform the salah and things like that. All extremely important, but the education that we're providing is not necessarily responsive. While it is preserving aspects of the deen, it isn't responsive to the fitna that these young people are facing because of modernity and all of the kind of challenges that come with it. And we're kind of behind the curve when it comes to keeping up with what that even means and what those challenges are. And now, as we hear more and more incidents of young people, and as you've just seen, only between the ages of 12 and 16, and obviously a lot more when it comes to sixth form age and university age, are becoming prey to certain liberal ideas, secular ideas, generally to kind of atheism and things that feed atheism, certain aspects of science and so on, and are basically ending up doubting Islam. This isn't being preempted. So when they face these doubts, they don't have the answers, and they often can't find anyone who can give them the answers. So it's necessary for ulama to teach the deen to young children in a way that is you don't have to point by point answer every ishkal and every point of contention and doubt, but rather the aqidah and kind of the basics, the fundamentals of Islam can be taught in a way that is responsive to these issues. And this is one of the things that I've been doing for the past couple of years at Mawarid Lifestyle with a course called How to Protect Our Iman in Today's Climate. And the past 12 months or so, I've been teaching that content to young people, teenagers basically. And I've sort of learnt from that experience a great deal. I've taken their feedback and so forth, and I'd like to share that with ulama. And given that this really came about because of a crisis in a particular town, I think that crisis isn't very far away from many other towns and cities. And in fact, many people watching this video who are teaching young people will probably testify to the fact that this is already happening. In fact, it wasn't the first time that I had encountered the need to have these conversations with Maktab teachers, although not as serious as this particular incident. I had actually previously been asked to provide insight to Maktab teachers because children had been asking difficult questions, expressing doubts about certain aspects of Islam, and teachers didn't know how to deal with them sensitively. And I went in and provided some training. So this has been put together and turned around pretty quickly. The course, we've only just announced it a few days ago, and the course is this weekend. The idea is I'm going to go through the content of my course, How to Protect Our Iman in Today's Climate, and then kind of so that the content becomes curriculum content that teachers can adapt to what they teach their students, the children and young people. And inshallah, the resources will also be provided to teachers so that they can produce things off the back of that. But also, we will, on top of that, we will be discussing certain pedagogic aspects, teaching techniques, in terms of how these ideas can be explained to young people using various methods and techniques. As you know, my background is in education. You know, I've done a lot of work, both in the Maktab and Madrasah field, as well as, 17 odd years at Ibrahim College, where a lot of my work has been in curriculum development. So inshallah, I'd like to share some of that. So it's for Maktab and Madrasah teachers, people who are students of knowledge, Ulama. I expect the people who join this program to have quite a lot of familiarity with the content that is taught as part of that course, so that we can run through the content fairly quickly and then discuss the pedagogic aspects and have lots of discussion, inshallah ta'ala. And it'd be useful for me to also take feedback from people about what kind of things young people are asking about or not asking about, and if they are, then why, and if they aren't, then why. So it's going to be 2 weekends because the content of the course is 12 hours. Hopefully we'll be able to condense that quite substantially because of the ulama and their familiarity with the content. And however, obviously that time will be kind of reduced there. Will get filled with the pedagogy aspect. So it's 2 Saturdays and Sundays, 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It's not going to be convenient for everybody, but if you really want to do this now because you feel it's necessary, then bear in mind that, as it is the case with Mawarid lifestyle courses, every lesson will be recorded and that will be made available to everyone. So if you think you're going to miss the odd one, you will be able to catch up, inshallah ta'ala. At least everybody that does evening maktab and is available on the weekend should be able to attend this. In the future, we'll try and do an evening one as well. But please register. I'll share on the course my own experience of the extent of loss of Iman in young people. But it is a crisis, and I'm asking Ulama to recognize it as a crisis and start to do something about it. And the minimum we can do is at least be prepared ourselves so that we can have these conversations with young people in a way that actually will remove those doubts. Often, young people have directly complained to me that their doubts have festered because of the way in which they've been dealt with by Ulama, by their teachers, by masjid imams and so on. So we need to learn how to deal with young people. And I have some experience in this, both in my kind of more concentrated work in this area in the past 2 years, but also before at Ibrahim College, which I would like to share with Ulama, inshallah ta'ala. So the training course for Ulama, this Saturday, Sunday, and the next Saturday, Sunday, right? So 3 hours every day, 12 hours in total. The dates are the 11th, the 12th, and the 18th and 19th. Inshallah ta'ala, look forward to seeing you then. I hope everybody appreciates how serious this issue it is. You'll see in the messages that go through some statistics. These are not exaggerations. According to a Pew study, 23% of born Muslims who basically raised in Muslim families no longer identify with Islam. In the UK, according to a piece of research just come out from St. Mary's University, 70% of young people from kind of their, I think if I recall it correctly, from their early teens to the age 29, 70% of them do not identify with religion anymore. Those statistics kind of apply to Muslims. Okay, not 70%, but a significant percentage of Muslims of young people in the UK will be affected who are Muslim. So it's not an issue to be trifled. It's something that we have to take seriously. It is a bigger fitna than anything else that we think is affecting the Muslim community. What is greater than Iman? So please take it seriously. Ulama are the people who have the greatest access to young people. According to some statistics I heard from an organization that provided curriculum material for Maktab, some 70% of Muslim children in the UK go through Maktab education. That means if Maktab teachers are trained up in these issues, then 70% of young people will be exposed to kind of an education that is responsive to the things that cause doubt. But of course, we will only achieve that if the ulama themselves take this issue seriously and train up and become literate in the discourse of doubt, if I might call it that, because that is what's happening to young people. They are starting to doubt Islam and they are leaving Islam while we are teaching them the basics of Islam. So obviously something is missing. Okay, inshallah. So I look forward to seeing some of you this weekend at least, and the next weekend, inshallah ta'ala. You can go and register on the courses page at mawaridlifestyle.com. And if you have any questions, then there's a phone number you can call, or just email info@mawaridlifestyle.com. If there are any maktabs and madrasas that would like to enroll their teachers kind of as a group, so multiple enrollments, just reach out, inshallah, through the inquiry line or by email, and we'll work something out for you, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakum khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.